My name is John Purdy. I am the non-executive chairman of Ergo. Ergo is 28 years old. It is a cloud and IT service management company.
Since co-founding Ergo over 28 years ago, John Purdy has steered the company through extraordinary growth, creating a €100 million business with nearly 500 employees. Ergo has pioneered IT services in Ireland for 3 decades, and John's success in building the business was recognised in 2014 when he was named the EY Industry Entrepreneur of the Year.
So in the early 90s, I was working in a sales leadership role in a computer company. And I felt there was something else in me. I felt there was something that I should be doing on my own. And as I surfaced that and I spoke to a small number of people about that, they were very encouraging. Those people would have included my co-founder, Tim, Audrey, my wife, who was an incredible support over the last 30-something years, and also my mother, who instilled an attitude of, so what if you fail? It's okay, but try it. And my mother was, she had 3 cleaning jobs. She would have left school very early, but she was a very inspirational woman that would have pushed us to be the best version of ourselves that we could be. So in June 1993, Tim and I decided that we would start this business. We started in the shed in Tim's garden in 239 Carver Road, and in my spare bedroom. Within a year we had to move out of my spare bedroom because Audrey became pregnant and we needed to put our eldest son somewhere. So we moved into another shed in Crossguns Bridge in Fisborough. It was a great experience. Literally it was a shed with tarmac on the ground, a galvanised sheeting on the roof. We used to hear the 3:30 train to Mullingar through the walls. We'd fill up our kettle from a pipe in the yard, and I'd bring home the mugs at night and wash them and bring them back the next day. But that gave us an approach to business, a lean approach, which we still apply today. And whatever money we had, we invested in our proposition and we invested it in our customers and getting close to our customers. And I think that kind of put us on a journey. Also says we didn't take ourselves too seriously. We still don't take ourselves too seriously. We take what we do very seriously, but we also have fun while we do it. And to me, that's really important. I think that helps build the culture that we have in Ergo today. I remember in the very early days going into AIB, and we were negotiating some banking facilities, and there was a great gentleman there, a guy called John Kelly, who was responsible for small business banking. And he asked me what was the reason most businesses fail. And I thought smartly that the answer had to be cash flow. And he said, no, that was the second reason. The reason why most businesses fail is ego. And that learning has stayed with me today, that it can never be about any one individual's ego. It's about the collective. Quite often people will ask, why do we have to constantly change? My view is if we don't change, we regress. Change is really important in the technology sector, and it's very important in this business. If you're comfortable with change, you will grow with Ergo. If you're not comfortable with change, you won't last, because we're the wrong type of employer for you. We need people who are comfortable with constantly pivoting. Why? Because our industry and the demands of our customers are constantly changing. So if I think about the first 10 years or so of the business, we had a recession, we had .com, all of those required a change of gear, where we saw that as an opportunity to become bigger within the marketplace and bring new products and services to the market that we saw as being fitting and relevant to the time. People will only pay us good money if we stay relevant and we stay focused on their outcomes and their needs. So making sure our organization continues to evolve and to pivot into new services, pushing up the value chain is really important. That kind of approach to innovation still stands for us today. It's a bit more sophisticated, it's more planned, it's more forward-looking, but it's still that customer touch and relevance is still very important. Doing the same things year after year is going to give you a negative result eventually. And I think there's a lot of examples throughout history where organizations have failed to read the tea leaves. Great names within the technology business that are no longer in the technology business. So you think about Compaq, and Compaq, was a leader in personal computers in the 80s and 90s and got consumed by HP. So change is just part of who we are, of what we do. It's continuous and it's constant, and it's something that we're very comfortable with. If our served customer is going to be large enterprise, we need to behave like a big business all the time, even in startup mode. Something that we adopted very early on. We had proper budgeting, we had strategy sessions, planning sessions, we had a training plan. Those disciplines still apply today as we scale from being 100 million to 200 million, which is the expectation over the next 5 years. I think when a company starts, or certainly when our company started, it started with a very thin offering with a small number of people. And when we got into the market and we started talking to customers, we realized that there was a number of pain points that customers had. That was an opportunity for us to match that opportunity with solutions that we would develop. Now that we're a €100 million business and 500 people, we're looking at how do we become a €200 million business and how do we expand that product set so that we can compete and stay relevant. Our customer wants us to be an established business, a mature business. They want us to be aggressive in our thinking, sophisticated in our delivery. They demand exceptional execution. And exceptional execution only comes from being world class. And world class only comes because we've thought about the challenges and we have figured out how we're going to deliver against those challenges. I often hear the phrase, being a trusted advisor. Being a trusted advisor means, in my view, that you have the customer's back, that you understand what's important to that customer, that you've showed up when possible, where possible, in presence. You're sitting face to face. You're getting a real sense of what's important to this customer over the next period. And you're planning on how to deal with those challenges and how you mitigate against the risks. You've got their back. Having their back is really important. Having our employees' back is really important also. And if you look back at what the services that we offered in 93 versus 96 versus 98, all of that required a bunch of customers who needed help. That's opportunity. It's really important that we have a trust and a relationship with a customer. Often I say that the best time to build that trust is when the customer is under real pressure. It's 7 o'clock, it's Friday night, we want to go for a beer, but the customer has a problem. We step in and we solve that problem. We own it from start to finish. We hand the customer back a solution. We hand the customer back the outcomes to allow the customer to get on and run their business. In recent times, most of our communication has been via Teams. When lockdown allowed, I would have spent some time going for socially distant coffees or walks with customers so that I can understand the current needs of that customer in a very different environment, not in a boardroom environment, but in a park. Equally, if not more, beneficial and effective. I think one of the things that I learned very early was staying close to the customer will give you substantial results and dividends. So as long as I've been doing this job, I have never heard a CXO of an organization talk about the importance of their cloud strategy or their database strategy. I hear them talking about their margin improvement, their customer retention, their staff retention, their growth in their overall numbers. So the technology is a conduit to deliver that. So what we do is we help our customers deliver those outcomes by providing them with technology tools. The solution is the outcome. The outcome is the real prize in all of this. Often you will hear the phrase, the leader is lonely, or leadership is a lonely place to be. I would agree with that. Therefore, it's important to surround yourself with positive people who'll be honest, who'll be transparent, who'll call you out when you need to be called out. Equally, it's important, in my view, that you spend time alone, walking, running, cycling, whatever your desire is. But that allows you to reflect. It allows you to sort all of the things in your head that needs to be sorted. One of the great lessons that I learned from Tim, my co-founder, was the importance of being in your own company. And if you can't enjoy your own company, then it's somewhat selfish to expect other people to enjoy your company. So for me, it's important to take time and to put on a pair of headphones and listen to some music or listen to a podcast and try and figure out on a daily basis, what are the things that as a leader I need to figure out? Because if I don't figure those things out, then I'm not leading. If I do figure them out, then I have some chance of inspiring other people. Like those early days were manic. You know, we were working 15, 18 hours a day. We were working 7 days a week. I was living on coffee, and I went for a medical exam, and they noticed an abnormal amount of tannin in my blood. And I had to admit that I was drinking up to 15 mugs of coffee a day. I wasn't minding myself. I wasn't exercising. I developed diabetes. It was because I didn't have balance. I wish I had realized that 20 odd years ago. There's been two things in the last 30 years that have impacted me personally as a leader. One was in 2007 and 2008, I was fortunate to participate in the Leadership for Growth program run by Enterprise Ireland. That gave me a toolkit, which I still use in terms of scaling. It gave me ambition. It gave me the desire that we could be a bigger player in a marketplace. The second one was being selected as a finalist in the 2014 Entrepreneur of the Year program. And I was fortunate to go on that year and win the industry category. That was fantastic for me, for my family, for my colleagues. It was validating that what we were doing all those years was the right thing, and that my peers recognized that. I'm still surprised at some of the benefits that we get from being participants in that program. The employer brand is incredibly strong because we reference the EOI program. And when we have interviewed people and we've asked them why they've chosen to come and work in Ergo, it's often one of the things that they refer to. Also, the network from the alumni is just incredible. The friendships, the coaching, the advice, the support that I've received from many people 6, 8 years later is still phenomenal. And still, I see there's huge amounts more that we can achieve. Those two things, I think, have helped me as a leader grow this business into what it is today. Entrepreneurship is very strong in Ireland and needs to continue to be strong. Entrepreneurship is really important to our future economies, particularly as we come out of the pandemic and we scale. Entrepreneurship affects every parish in every county on the island of Ireland. It's really important that we coexist with the foreign direct investment firms that are investing in our country. Equally, it's important that our government gives us the right infrastructure, the appropriate tax breaks to ensure reinvestment from entrepreneurs in new ventures, creating new wealth, new opportunity, new tax income, and new jobs. Entrepreneurship has a part to play in education. It should be a syllabus subject. We should have children leaving second level education and going into third level education wanting to study entrepreneurship and coming out of universities with the ambition to grow global companies. College is not for everybody, but entrepreneurship can be for everybody. And I would really encourage government to continue investing, to be fair, as they have been, in entrepreneurship. I worry when I hear young people saying, if I travel to Newry, I could run a business, and when I exit that business, my tax paid is going to be substantially less than if I run that business in Dundalk or in Dublin. And I think we need to be able to do something about that. We're very fortunate that we have a great organisation like Enterprise Ireland and Invest Northern Ireland who invest in startup companies. That's really important. It can allow us as a nation develop the next generation of really smart entrepreneurs. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that the talent exists on this island, and it is up to us as entrepreneurs, it's up to government and education to provide that framework that allows that kind of thinking to flourish.